Mr. Drath, tell us a little bit about your family.
I have a daughter. She's 17. Her name is Sally, and we live together.
What, if anything, do you do to kind of to look after Sally?
Nowadays, with social media and everything that, I guess, how it's important to the younger people, I generally try and kind of keep tabs on her, looking at her Twitter and Facebook, just her general social media contact, just to make sure everything's okay.
What, if anything, do you do to help keep tabs on her social life?
The same thing. You just kind of, generally talking to her, and when I have a chance, maybe take a look at her Twitter account, Facebook, just to kind of make sure nothing is going on.
Has there ever come a time that you've been made aware of any boyfriends that she's had?
Objection, relevance.
Have you heard?
Yeah, a relevant item is one that tends to make a fact the issue more or less likely. Whether or not she had boyfriends is not in dispute in this case.
Overruled.
Before this time now.
Has there ever come a time when you've known her to be sexually active?
No.
Do you remember the events of May 13th, 2011?
Yep.
Please explain for the jury what exactly happened that day.
Pretty much, I was at the mall. I went out there to do bids for a local job there, and at the time, I saw my daughter Sally with, I guess, this Mr. Walker. They were walking hand in hand, laughing, and it just became really suspicious, and kind of got me out of my comfort zone. And after that, I went back home.
Objection, this point's an error.
Overruled.
I went back home, took a look at her iPad, went into her Twitter account, and I saw messages between my daughter and another person, which is now Mr. Walker, and that just got me really upset. I just felt really sick, nauseous, and I honestly felt like I was about to pass out. And at one point, I'm pretty sure I did pass out, because I think I remember falling to the floor. And
Objection, speculation. Pretty sure. I think I know.
believe.
Want to rephrase? Ask the question in more detail.
Certainly. Following seeing the social media messages, what, if anything, happened next?
I became really sick, nauseous. It felt like my blood pressure dropped really low, and get very lightheaded, and I fell to the floor.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor.
Granted.
Let the record reflect I'm showing what has been previously marked as State's Exhibit 1 and handing that to the witness. Mr. Drath, do you recognize that?
I do.
What do you recognize it to be?
It's the Twitter messages that I saw on my daughter's iPad between herself and Mr. Walker.
And what, if anything, about that?
Objection, speculation as to Mr. Walker.
Well, Your Honor, as the witness just testified, he saw he saw his daughter with Mr. Walker earlier that day. It would be a reasonable inference for him to make to assume that that was also Mr. Walker. In addition, Your Honor, on this exhibit, next to the respondent's name, Cool Dude, is the name Step Walker. Therefore, it would be reasonable for the defendant to read that and interpret that to be actually Step and Walker.
I agree that the witness would assume an invine that's from tweet. So, overruled.
Go ahead.
What was the question again?
What if anything, or what if anything about this message made you feel that way?
Particularly the interchanges, specifically my daughter saying, "What a night, didn't know love could be so intense," and how about another repeat performance from Mr. Walker?
Objection, Dr. Speaks for yourself.
those two interchanges pretty much made me completely shocked. I've never seen something like this before. It's my 17-year-old daughter. It's not something that you want to come across every day.
Thank you. Now, John, you testified that you became ill and you fell down and passed out. What, if anything, happened next?
After that, I woke up and I was in jail, and that's pretty much all I could remember.
Did there come a time when you discovered how long you had been out?
8 days.
What, if anything, do you remember happening next?
After that, I believe we had a meeting with some doctors, Dr. Chacona, I believe.
And when you met with Dr. Chacona, for about how long did that meeting take place?
Right around 30 minutes.
After the meeting with Dr. Chacona, did you meet with Dr. Chacona? Did there come a time when you met with Dr. Chacona after that?
No, just once.
What impression, if any, did Dr. Chacona leave on you?
Objection, relevance?
Overruled.
I just felt that he was relatively kind of out to get me.
Objection, proper characterization.
I didn't hear what the witness said.
Out to get me. Kind of out to get me. Could be afraid.
Overruled.
Specifically because I felt that he was suspicious and cynical. His one particular statement, I felt kind of hit me hard. He pretty much said that there was never a...
Objection, hearsay, improper characterization.
Your Honor, may I be heard? This is not hearsay because it's not being asserted for its truth. It's rather being asserted for its effect on the auditor and his perception of the declarant, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this statement, as I believe it's going to come out, is going to be, there's never been a successful insanity plea in this state, and you won't be the first. The first portion of the statement about the successful insanity pleas probably is not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. But you won't be the first.
Okay, so what is your objection to what's been stated?
What's been stated thus far is we have continuing characterizations about the out to get me, about cynical, things like that.
Okay. I'll sustain your objection going forward regarding the characterization of the interview or the interviewee or the doctor.
So just to be clear, I'm not allowed to elicit any more testimony regarding the characterization of the doctor, is that correct?
As in what the witness thinks the doctor is out, his perception of what the doctor is towards him going further.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Drath, John, has there ever come a time when you've ever suffered from any mental disease or defects?
Yeah, back in college.
And around that time, what if any treatment did you seek, or did you seek treatment?
Yeah, I saw a doctor, and from that point on...
Thank you. What, if any, weapons do you own?
I inherited a .32 caliber pistol.
And has there ever come a time when you ever used it?
Not for over 5 years.
And the time from the 5 years until the present, has there ever come a time when you've used it then?
No, not that I remember.
John, do you have any training with any military training?
No.
Has there ever come a time when you've ever had any police training?
No.
Has there ever come a time when you've had any general firearms training?
Objection, relevance?
Overruled.
No.
Was firearms training, or did there come a time during your conversation with Dr. Chacona where firearms training was the basis of your conversation?
Never.
John, do you remember killing Stephen Walker?
I don't.
Thank you. No further questions.